Well, 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 hello friends, APL here, APL Fisher on Xbox Live, APL Fisher on getting my shit ganked in Quake Live. This is some Quake Live gameplay. This is Instagib, obviously one-hit kills. Yeah, so as you can see, this is a free-for-all. I was playing with a bunch of bros from the bro pile. And I don't win this game or anything, but I think I go even, and it was my first game of Quake Live in I don't know, a very long time. Probably months and months and months. So, it is what it is. Enjoy the gameplay. And this is going to be another Twitter Q&A video. This is the only other one I'm going to do for a long time, but I did the first one, and I got a ton of feedback asking me to do another. So, we're going to do another right now, and we're going to go through as many questions as I can answer. I'm sure I'm not going to be able to get to everyone, and if I don't get to your question, I'm sorry, and if I mess up your Twitter name, I'm sorry as well, but shit happens. So, let us get started here. The first question comes from Downhill or Die, and he just says sex question mark, and the answer to that is obviously yes. The Ginger Bomb says, would you like to play Tummy Stick sometime? And, I mean, obviously, referring to the first question, the answer would be yes, because those are two similar things in my book. Let me see here. Fixter asks, will you do a Mass Effect playthrough because it is an awesome game? That's a good question. Mass Effect is a game that I never have tried out before. I've heard great things about Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2. I'm not really an RPG kind of... I just don't have the patience or the dedication to finish a game, a long RPG. I don't know why. I just get bored easily. I'm very... I have to have visceral action going on, which is one of the reasons I'm such a big first-person shooter player. But there is a possibility. I won't rule it out. So we'll see. I mean, if there was enough people asking me to do it, we might do it. It's very possible. I'm not going to rule it out. The Death Ramp says, why are you so attractive and chode-like? And then he says in parentheses, in all seriousness, what's the worst game you've ever played? Well, to answer the worst game you've ever played question, the worst game I've ever played was back in the day when I was gaming on my original PlayStation before I really had a beast computer. This was years and years and years ago. But on the original PlayStation, there was a game that came out called Driver. I don't know if you guys remember this. I think they're making another Driver game now or something. You know, who knows? I mean, the series is awful now. But the original Driver at the time was... I loved it. I mean, I absolutely loved the game. It was just basically you were a wheelman. You did jobs. But I loved the driving in it. I loved the car physics. I loved the car chases. The original Driver, I think, is one of the most underrated games ever. I'm going to say that right now. But then a game called Driver 2 came out, and the actual game, it was the first time you get out of your car. When you got out of your car, those sequences were horrible, were absolutely just terrible. But the actual driving wasn't bad, but the issue was the game was horribly coded and horribly made. It was totally unstable. So you'd be playing a mission, like you'd be on a mission that was taking 30 minutes, and the game would all of a sudden just freeze, and it would just, and the sound would just loop over and over again. And I looked this up years later, and I found out that this was legitimately a bug with the game. You know, everyone basically who had the game reported it. So you'd lose I mean, it was just the most infuriating thing, because you'd have a great run on a mission that you're trying to beat. The game was actually moderately long, and some of these missions were really hard, and you would get really far, and then the game would just freeze. And it just ruined the experience totally. And it wasn't even, you know, I guess the game wasn't necessarily horrible, but that ruined everything for me. And eventually when I got a PS2 and I played it because it was backwards compatible, yeah, obviously PlayStation games on PS2 are backwards compatible, it didn't do the freezing. So I don't know if it was like limitations of the PlayStation and they didn't account for them. But anyway, that was the worst gaming experience I've ever had, or most frustrating perhaps. I guess that kind of answers the question. Wow, there's so many questions here. We're just going to try to go through some of them. Leroux, or Lerrou, Leroux, I think, asks, what is one of your favorite films and why? I got a couple. One of my favorite films ever, I really like the director M. Night Shyamalan. The Sixth Sense is one of my favorite films, for sure. I absolutely love that movie, the twist, all of it. I think it's a fantastic film. And more recently, Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio. Is an incredible film. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of those bros who, you know, he's kind of like a teen heartthrob kind of deal and all this stuff, and I never thought he'd become such a serious actor. I can't think of a bad movie that guy's been in the last I'm gonna say 5, 6, 7 years. I mean, like that bro is a bro. I mean, he's a great actor, and hate him or not, you can't deny it. Ibara50Z asked, "What is Scott's guilty pleasure?" What is my guilty pleasure? I don't know if listening to certain pop songs really loud and singing to them in my car is a guilty pleasure. If that's wrong, but I do that a lot. I have quite a varied variety of music on my iPod. Like you guys know, I love metal and hardcore, and then people can't believe that I also like a lot of pop elements. Just songs that are fun to listen to. I'm not an elitist in that sense. Or like, oh, I'm not gonna listen to this. I mean, yeah, okay. Is it like some of it auto-tuned and shit? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna argue that it's great music, but it's catchy. And if you all ever saw me dancing on Dunkus's stream with Dunkus when he was having that epic live stream, you guys know I like that. I like dubstep too. I don't know if that's a guilty pleasure. Fatal Voodoo asked my first sexual interaction. I was gonna say touching this in the last one, so you'll know what I'm talking. But no, that's not true. It was not sexual interaction. Get your sick minds out of the gutter. If you guys watch my last Q&A, you know what I'm not even gonna go back there and talk about it. My first sexual interaction was in high school. It's kind of it's weird when you actually have to talk about it seriously. I guess I could just I think I was 14, like legit sexual interaction. I was probably around 14. All right, we're not gonna go into it. It was not intercourse, but there were other things going on there. Slippy Bro asked, is there going to be more improving your aim through TDM? Possibly. I've not done all the guns. I probably will go back to that series at some point. And we'll do some of the other guns that aren't used as much in competitive play. The Trout921 asks, how does one become a Master Chota? If you could help and answer it, it'd really help me out. Well, Chris, you'll know when the time is right, Chris, when to become the Master Chota. I can't make you one, but you'll know when you are. All right, is that big enough for you? Tim J asked, does your neckbeard have a name? And yes, he does, and I call him Gilmore. So you can take that as you will. Man, there's so many good questions here, guys. I'm sorry, I can't get to all of them in this video. What else can we see here? I'm just scrolling through. What's your favorite food? Says his infernal mage, rather. My favorite food, you know what? This is really a cheesy cop-out, but my favorite food is probably a pizza. And pizza, hear me out because of that. Well, I love pizza in general, but it's such a versatile food. You can put anything on top of pizza, and it's pretty much good. I mean, you could put ground up, dog feces on pizza, and I'd still probably eat it because it's just such a great, container or whatever for any kind of anything you want to put on top of it. Not really a container, but. If you could get naked pictures of anyone in the world, who would it be and why? Ask Angry Scotsman. Scarlett Johansson, that's an easy question. If there are naked pictures of Scarlett Johansson I don't know about, please send them to me. But I don't know if I've seen true naked pictures of Scarlett Johansson. What about CS has kept you interested in What about CS has kept you interested in it all these years? Says J.A. Hawaii. I can't answer that. It was the first real game I ever got really good at on PC, and probably the first game I just devoted all my time to. So that's probably why. I go to other games, but I always come back to it. Oh my God, there's still more questions. All right, guys, I'm not going to be able to answer them all. One more from Nuketown Noob. Do you think any game could ever take you away from CS? Kind of relating to the last one. The answer is no. Not ever truly take me away. I get distracted for a little while. I might play something for a month or two, but I always go back to CS. It's just the way it is. And then the CPA Arts asks, what would you do if you woke up if you were a chaff? I jump off a bridge. All right, guys, bye.